Peter?
Mr. President, in 2012, you tweeted that Obama's complaints about Republicans stopping his agenda are BS, in your words, since he had full control for 2 years. You wrote, he can never take responsibility. But today you said about some of the challenges right now in Congress and in Washington, I'm not going to blame myself. I'll be honest, they're not getting the job done. So what's different then than now?
Well, let me just explain what's different. We have nominations pending right now, and we have 182 approved. If you look at this, the number that he had approved was 65% and 70%, and we have 39%. They're holding up every single nomination. Schumer and the group are holding up every single nomination. They are obstructing. They're doing, it's really what, I'm telling you, they're not good politicians, but they're very good at obstruction. They are holding up every single nomination. And I will tell you, Peter, it's not right. It's really not right. They'll bring them right out to the end, that last minute. What they're doing is unfair. So you look at even Bush, you look at Obama, you look at Clinton, and you look at Bush original. You have 389 versus 182. These are approvals. You look at Clinton, 357 versus 182. You look at President Obama, 364 versus 182. These are nominations approved. And what they're doing to us, we have unbelievable people in there waiting to be approved. They've been waiting for a long period of time. Now, I do believe that Mitch is going to start pushing them very hard, and he can do that, and he wants to do that. He also wants to get the judicial nominations through, and he wants to get them through fast, too. Go ahead, John. Go ahead, John.
Could I just follow on that, if I could? You seem to have a budding spirit of cooperation with the Senate Minority Leader and the House Minority Leader when it came to the budget, when it came to this idea of finding a fix for DACA. But every proposal that you have floated since then, they have very critically rejected. So where is this relationship?
Well, I hope to have a relationship. If we don't, we don't. I mean, we have races coming up, and as you know, in a year from now, I think we're going to probably do very well. I can say this, if we get taxes approved, we're going to do unbelievably well. Many of the senators are running in states that I won by massive amounts, over 20%, sometimes 30%, I guess in one or two cases by over 40% over the Democrat. Well, we're going to let you know that I would like to give you that answer in about 7 years from now. Is that okay?
Mr. President, sir.
Meaning 1 + 7. I hope to be, John, I hope to be able to, because I like the concept of bipartisan. But right now they are doing nothing but obstructing. And really, you know, if you think about it, they're against major tax cuts that's going to make our country stronger and more competitive. That's a hard thing to win an election on. And I believe that some Democrats will be voting for us when it comes to the tax cuts.
Mr. President, sir.
What about this economic development bill that you mentioned?
I'm going to be proposing an economic development bill in the not-too-distant future. I want to get tax cuts obviously done first, maybe even the health care, but I think somewhere either in between or shortly thereafter, I'm going to be developing an economic development bill that will put us so far ahead of other countries you will not even believe it. That'll be very important.
Mr. President, sir. Mr. President, sir. Thank you, Mr. President. Last week, your administration made two major announcements on rolling back the Iran deal and getting rid of the cost-sharing reductions as part of Obamacare. And a lot of criticism has been leveled at your administration, saying that really all you're doing is—
And a lot of praise.
Fair enough, sir. Rolling back, a lot of what you're doing is simply rolling back everything your predecessor accomplished. Is there a single policy of your predecessor that you specifically do not want to touch, sir?
Well, we're very opposite in terms of incentives and incentives for jobs and other things. And if you look at what's happened, we just hit a new high today again in the stock market. We've picked up, Mitch, it's as of this moment, $5.2 trillion in stock market value. We have the lowest unemployment rate in, I believe it's almost 17 years. We're doing well. We're going to be doing immigration work that's going to be outstanding, and we're going to have people coming into our country based hopefully on a merit system, not just coming in randomly, but they're going to be coming in based on a merit system where they can help us, because I have companies moving into this country. You saw what happened with the automobile industry last week with 5 major plants. We have companies pouring back into this country for the first time in anybody's memory. We are actually going to be fairly soon at a point where we're going to need workers. Our country is going to do so well, but the tax cuts are going to be a major, major part of it.
You want to keep in place, though? Is there a single policy you keep in place?
Not too many, I must say. It's the opposite side of the spectrum.
Sir, if I can follow up on
All right, Peter, go ahead, Peter.
Earlier you said that President Obama never called the families of fallen soldiers. How can you make that claim?
I don't know if he did. No. I was told that he didn't often, and a lot of presidents don't. They write letters. I do. Excuse me, Peter. I do a combination of both. Sometimes it's a very difficult thing to do, but I do a combination of both. President Obama, I think, probably did sometimes, and maybe sometimes he didn't. I don't know. That's what I was told. All I can do is ask my generals. Other presidents did not call. They'd write letters, and some presidents didn't do anything. But I like the combination of, I like when I can the combination of a call and also a letter.
Here, Mr. President. Here, Mr. President.
Mr. President, thank you.
Sorry.
If it would help you, sorry.
One at a time. Go ahead.
Thank you. If it would help Special Counsel Robert Mueller get to the end of the Russia investigation.
Well, I'd like to see it end. Look,
Would you
the whole
agree to an
Russian
in-
thing was an
special
excuse.
counsel
Excuse me.
with your legal
Excuse me.
team is advising
The whole Russian thing was an excuse for the Democrats losing the election, and it turns out to be just one excuse. I mean, today Hillary blamed Nigel Farage. That one came out of nowhere. So that was just an excuse for the Democrats losing an election that, frankly, they have a big advantage in the Electoral College. They should always be able to win in the Electoral College, but they were unable to do it. So there has been absolutely no collusion. It's been stated that they have no collusion. They ought to get to the end of it because I think the American public is sick of it. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Interview.
Mr. President, Ronica Cleary with Fox 5.
Yes.
Do you believe that your comments in any way affected Bo Bergdahl's ability to receive a fair trial? And can you respond to his attorney's
Well, I can't
claims
comment
that-
on Bo Bergdahl because he's, as you know, I guess he's doing something today, as we know, and he's also they're setting up sentencing. So I'm not going to comment on him, but I think people have heard my comments in the past. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Will you extend the deadline for DACA recipients if Congress can't pass the bill by March? Mitch McConnell.
Well, they should be able to do something, but we need very strong border security, and we do want the wall. Go ahead.
The question is about the fires in California. They feel like they left out.
No, they haven't. In fact, I spoke to Governor Brown. We had a great conversation. We have FEMA there, and as you know, James Lee Witt gave us an A+, and I think if he didn't include the fires, he would include the fires also. We have FEMA there. We have military there. We have first responders there. It's a tragic situation, but we're working very closely with the representatives from California, and we're doing a good job.
Mr. President, Mr. President, Mr. President, Mr. President, Mr. President.
Go ahead, back. Yes, go ahead, back. All I can say is it's totally fake news. It's just fake. It's fake. It's made up stuff, and it's disgraceful what happens. But that happens in the world of politics. John.
Mr. President, on the wall, are you going to insist that we must have wall funding before you sign something for the Dreamers or spending for the rest of the year?
Our country needs a wall. Mexico, you see what's happening there. You see what just happened yesterday with one of their big political leaders. Mexico is not doing particularly well when it comes to the kind of thing that we have great interest in. Drugs are pouring across our border. We're stopping it, but we need a wall to really stop it. We need a wall in this country. You know it. I know it. Everybody knows it. We have to have a wall, so that's going to be part of it. Yeah.
President.
Can somebody else get
Well, the Puerto Rico situation is so, because as you know, I think, that's according to the Clinton administration's head of FEMA. It's been outstanding. Puerto Rico is very tough because of the fact it's an island, but it's also tough because, as you know, it was in very poor shape before the hurricanes ever hit. Their electrical grid was destroyed before the hurricanes got there. It was in very bad shape, was not working, was in bankruptcy, owed $9 billion. And then on top of that, the hurricane came. Now, you're going to have to build a whole new electrical plant system. We're not talking about generators. You know, Puerto Rico now has more generators, I believe, than any place in the world. There are generators all over the place. The fact is, their electrical system was in horrible shape before and even worse shape after. So we are working right now. As you know, relief funds were just approved and are in the process of being approved by Congress. And that includes Texas, by the way. That includes Florida. And it also includes Puerto Rico, the U.S. Virgin Islands, et cetera. But it was in really bad shape before. We have done, I will say this, we've delivered tremendous amounts of water. Then what you have to do is you have to have distribution of the water by the people on the island. So we have massive amounts of water. We have massive amounts of food, but they have to distribute the food. And they have to do this. They have to distribute the food to the people of the island. So what we've done is we now actually have military distributing food, something that really they shouldn't have to be doing. But if you look at the governor, who's a good man, by the way, but you look at the governor of Puerto Rico, he himself has said we've done an outstanding job, and most people have said we've done an outstanding job. But Puerto Rico is a very tough one. Yes, go ahead.
The 20-week abortion ban bill, how important is this bill to you, and what are you doing to work with Mitch McConnell to make sure this gets repealed?
Well, I'll let Mitch. You want to talk about that, Mitch?
Was the question about the 20-week? Yeah, well, it's supported by virtually all of my members, and we expect to have a vote on it at some point.
There are those who believe this would be the worst time to do that because it would be viewed as provocative. How do you view what you're trying to accomplish in South Korea? Do you intend to go to the DNC?
Well, I'll be going, as you know, to South Korea, to China, to Japan, to Vietnam for the summit. We have a big economic summit there. I may be going to the Philippines also. We've been invited. We've been invited to the Philippines, so I may be going to the Philippines. And I look forward to all of them. We haven't set the details as of this moment. We'll take a look at that. I didn't hear in terms of provoking, but we will certainly take a look at it.
Mr. President, Mr. President, Mr. President, Mr. President.
Sir, a quick follow-up on an earlier question to Sarah. You discussed the special counsel and the investigation currently. Are you considering firing Robert Mueller?
No, not at all.
And one quick follow-up on Iraq, sir. On Iraq, the Kurdish forces and Iraqi forces last night were clashing in northern Iraq. Are you concerned about a larger conflict in the region while U.S. forces are still advising on the ground?
We don't like the fact that they're clashing. We're not taking sides, but we don't like the fact that they're clashing. Well, let me tell you, we've had for many years very good relationship with the Kurds, as you know, and we've also been on the side of Iraq. Even though we should have never been in there in the first place, we should never have been there. But we're not taking sides in that battle, John.
In an interview earlier today, Hillary Clinton said that she did not believe that players taking a knee in the NFL was about disrespecting the flag. Complete odds with the way that you have portrayed this. You fired back in a tweet saying you hope that she runs again in 2020. Why?
Oh, I hope Hillary runs. Is she going to run? I hope. Hillary, please run again. Go ahead.
So she's at odds with you over whether or not this is disrespecting the flag. Is she right or is she wrong?
I think she's wrong. Look, when they take a knee, there's plenty of time to do knees, and there's plenty of time to do lots of other things. But when you take a knee, well, that's why she lost the election. I mean, honestly, it's that thinking. That is the reason she lost the election. When you go down and take a knee or any other way, you're sitting, essentially, for our great national anthem. You're disrespecting our flag, and you're disrespecting our country. And the NFL should have suspended some of these players for one game, not fire them, suspended them for one game. And then if they did it again, it could have been 2 games and 3 games, and then for the season. You wouldn't have people disrespecting our country right now. And if Hillary Clinton actually made the statement that in a form sitting down during the playing of our great national anthem is not disrespectful, then I fully understand why she didn't win. I know, I mean, look, there are a lot of reasons she didn't win, including the fact that she was not good at what she did. But I will tell you, that is something that I had just heard about. And I think that her statement in itself is very disrespectful to our country. Thank you very much.
Police-involved shootings. Sir, what about police-involved shootings as it relates to the NFL? That is what the players are saying is the crux of why they're taking a knee, sir. The police-involved shooting issue. What will
It
you
is
do about
very
that?
disrespectful to our country when they take a knee during our national anthem. It is very just hear it. It is very disrespectful to our country when they take a knee during the national anthem, number one. Number two, the people of our country are very angry at the NFL. All you have to do is look at their ratings and look at their stadiums. You see empty seats where you never saw them before. A lot of people are very angry at it. It is highly disrespectful. They shouldn't do it. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.